I am 101 years old, and I want you to hear something most people won't say out loud. I did everything right. I made the responsible choices. I followed the rules everyone laid out for me. I showed up. I sacrificed. I made people proud. I gave my life to doing what was expected of me. And somehow, after all of that, I still ended up sitting here with regret. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind you see in movies, but the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't scream. It just sits with you in the silence, in the stillness, in the moments when no one else is around. That is the regret I am talking about. And I want you to understand it before it becomes yours. People will tell you a lot of things growing up. Be responsible. Think about others. Make the safe choices. Don't rock the boat. Do what is expected of you. And the people saying it, they mean well. Almost all of them do. Your parents mean well. Your teachers mean well. Society means well. But here is the thing no one warned me about. Meaning well isn't the same as being right. And a life built entirely around what others expect from you is not your life. It never was. It belongs to everyone who shaped it. Everyone who had an opinion about it. Everyone who needed you to be a certain way. And by the time you realize that you may have already spent the best years giving it away. I know because that is exactly what happened to me when I was young, and I mean truly young, before the world got loud. I had my own ideas, things that fascinated me, directions I wanted to go, a version of my life that felt like mine. I can still feel it, even now. That pull, that quiet, persistent pull toward something different. But every time I move toward it, every time I so much as mentioned it, someone had something to say. My father was a practical man. He'd look at me with tired eyes and say, "That is not how the world works." My mother loved me fiercely, but her love came with a shape, a form she needed me to fit, and anything outside that form made her worry. My friends, the ones I admired, they'd laugh not cruelly, just casually, the way people laugh at something they've never considered because they've never had to. And then there was society, that invisible pressure, the unspoken agreement about what a person like me was supposed to do and be and want. So I adjusted, slowly, quietly. So gradually, I didn't even notice it happening. I chose the safer path, the more acceptable path, the one that would generate the least friction. And every time I made that choice, a small part of me went quiet, not gone, not at first, just quieter, like a voice being talked over until eventually you forget it was ever speaking. By my 30s, I had built something people respected, a stable career, a reliable reputation, a life that looked from the outside exactly like it was supposed to look, and it felt good. I won't pretend it didn't. There is a particular kind of warmth that comes from being approved of, from being trusted, from watching the people you love look at you with relief. They weren't worried about me anymore. I was fine. I was doing well. I was being responsible, and I told myself that was enough. But there is something that happens when you spend long enough being who others need you to be. You start to lose the thread that connects you to who you actually are. I remember standing in front of a mirror sometime in my mid-40s, and the strangest thought crossed my mind. I don't know who this is. Not in a dramatic way, not a crisis, just a quiet, unsettling observation. The man looking back at me had been assembled by everyone else's preferences. His job, chosen for stability. His habits, formed around others' comfort. His words, carefully calibrated to avoid disappointment. He was a good man. He was a successful man, but he was not a whole man. He had been built to fit the world, and somewhere in that fitting, he had forgotten how to fit himself. Here is what no one tells you about living for other people's approval. It works. That is the trap. It genuinely works, at least for a while. You feel useful. You feel valued. And because it works, you keep doing it. You keep softening your edges. Keep saying yes when you mean no. Keep putting your own wants at the bottom of the list. Not because anyone is forcing you, but because the alternative feels terrifying. What if you disappoint them? What if they pull away? What if they look at you differently? And so you don't risk it. You stay in the shape they're comfortable with. But here's what that costs you. And I want you to hear this clearly. Every time you choose approval over authenticity, you practice inauthenticity, you get better at it. It becomes reflexive, automatic. You stop even noticing the moments when you are betraying yourself because there's so many of them, so close together that they blend into the texture of your life. And then one day you realize you haven't made a truly free decision in years. Not because you weren't free, but because you forgot what freedom felt like. You stopped asking yourself what you wanted. You stopped imagining what your life could look like if it belonged entirely to you, because somewhere along the way, you handed it over piece by piece, choice by choice, year by year. There were things I never said, dreams I never spoke out loud because I was afraid of how they'd land. Opinions I swallowed because the room didn't feel safe enough to say them. Paths I glimpsed and then looked away from because I couldn't bear the thought of someone I loved being disappointed in me. I never became the thing I wanted to become. Not because I couldn't, but because I never fully gave myself permission. And permission is a strange thing. We think we need it from others. We wait for someone to say, yes, go ahead. We support you. We believe in you. We won't think less of you. But that permission almost never comes the way we're waiting for it to come. Because no one else can grant it. It was always inside you. The only permission you ever needed was your own. And I wasted decades waiting for something that was always mine. That is the part that stays with me, not the things I failed at, not the mistakes I made, but the things I never even tried because I was too afraid of what someone else might think. For me, the moment of clarity came late. I was sitting alone. I do that a lot now. And I was thinking back over the shape of my life, the decisions, the turns, the crossroads. And I noticed a pattern. Almost every major choice I had made had been made with someone else in mind, not out of love. Exactly. Not out of genuine sacrifice, but out of avoidance, avoiding disappointment, avoiding conflict, avoiding the look on someone's face if I chose myself instead of them. I had let other people's reactions become the North Star of my life. And it wasn't that they had forced me. No one had a gun to my head. No one had threatened me. I had simply chosen ease over truth every time until ease became who I was. And the truth, the real me, the wanting me, the part of me with ideas and hunger and direction had been so thoroughly silenced that I wasn't sure anymore what it had even wanted. That is the most frightening part of all of this. Not losing what you love, but losing the memory of what you love. I am not angry, not at my parents, not at my friends, not at the world that shaped me. They did what they knew. They wanted what they wanted. The fault was mine because I had a choice every single time. I had a choice. and I kept choosing the version of myself that was easiest for everyone else to hold. What I know now, what 101 years has made undeniably clear. Disappointing others hurts for a moment, sometimes a day, sometimes a season. But disappointing yourself, that accumulates, that compounds, that becomes the quiet weight you carry into every room for the rest of your life. And no one else can see it. No one else can carry it. It is yours alone. If you are listening to me right now, and you still have time, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. Whose life are you living? Not whose life are you supposed to be living? Not whose life would make everyone comfortable. Whose life are you actually living when no one is watching, when no one is grading you, when there is no applause and no approval and no audience at all? Is it yours? Because one day, and I promise you, it comes faster than you think, you will run out of time to find out. And when you do, in the silence of a life almost fully lived, you won't be thinking about whether you made people proud. You'll be thinking about all the moments you had a choice and chose everyone else instead of yourself. Don't wait that long. Your life is not a gift you give to others.
It is the one thing that belongs entirely to you. Live it like you know that.